everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today I am so excited because I am doing a special video with my friend Penny from Penn Smith Skincare. She is absolutely amazing. She's a master esthetician here in Portland, Oregon, and a dear friend. So we are both kind of beauty junkies, but in particular we love foundation, and she is like my go-to gal. We love to go back and forth with the best of the best with these foundations. So since there has been so many new releases, we thought we would do a little roundup of some of the new foundations and then kind of squeeze in a few of our favorite ones as well. So just for general information, I am 51 years old. I have dry skin. I suffer from hyperpigmentation and rosacea. So at the moment, my rosacea is at bay. So if you want to see a little roundup and kind of ranking of the best foundations that have been released recently, as well as maybe squeezing in a few of my favorites that I thought I should mention as well that are great for more mature skin, then let's go ahead and dive in. So today, you guys, I'm not going to go in depth in every single foundation. I've already done designated videos for each of these, but I thought I would link them below. So if you want to see them in action, go ahead and check out those videos. In general, you guys, I tend to lean towards more medium foundations that are more on the hydrating, glowy side. So you will see a few in here that may not match that, but just in general, if you see a lot of those kinds, I'm not going to be showing you a lot of matte foundations just because it's really not so great for my particular skin type. Okay, we're first going to start with the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. So you guys, this one is very sheer. I used to be a Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer girl like 20 years ago. That was all I ever wore. So this one kind of surprised me. I wanted to give it a go, and I really am enjoying it. This is going to be what I would call weekend makeup. Very easy, very moisturizing to the skin, but it does give you a really nice blurring effect. I do find that for myself, I do need to use a little bit more of a spot concealer in the areas that I feel like I need it. But this, you guys, is definitely worth checking out. I do want to mention that this does have chemical sunscreen. So if you are sensitive to that, definitely grab a sample first. I tend to go for more of a mineral-based sunscreen, but I have to tell you, I have been really enjoying this, and I have had no irritation of my sensitive skin. So I'm kind of happy with that, and I'm going to go ahead and swatch as well. Now, while we are mentioning this, I did a video the other day, and I was also trying out the new Laura Mercier illuminating version of the tinted moisturizer, and I do have to say a lot of you really enjoyed that look, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. For myself, you guys, I found that it just was a little bit too pearlescent or kind of shiny. Didn't quite look like real skin to me, if that makes sense. I liked the original tinted moisturizer just a little bit better for myself, but I have been mixing the two, which I think is fabulous. So I'm going to swatch both of them. I have this one in 2C1, and I have the other one in Natural Radiance. This is the tinted moisturizer in 2C1, and then this is the Laura Mercier Illuminating Tinted Moisturizer in Natural Radiance. Now, the one thing I would say about the tinted moisturizers are, I think these are going to be better for more normal to dry skin. Obviously, anybody can use it, but I think someone with more oily skin might find that this might be just a little too hydrating by the end of the day. So again, this is what it says, tinted moisturizer. Next one we're going to talk about is the new SURRATT Dew Drops. I'm kind of obsessed with these. So here's the deal with these. Very hydrating, doesn't feel like anything on the skin. This is going to be light coverage. I think you can build it up to more of a light medium. The thing that I liked about these is that I felt like it made my skin feel very hydrated and dewy looking throughout the day. It's described as being kind of your everyday foundation, and I would say that's exactly what it does. It looks very skin-like on your face, and I am actually wearing this mixed in with a little bit of the SURRATT SUREAL foundation. The difference is this has a little bit more coverage, and it is not going to be quite as dewy or hydrating as this guy. They're both beautiful foundations, but the dewdrops, I do have to say, I think there's something really special about them. I really do like them on their own. I think I'm going to order this in 6 so I can also just mix the 2 of these just for that in-between color. This is Dewdrop in 3, and then this is the SUREAL in 6. So as you can see, you guys, this is a little bit deeper. The Dewdrops over here is pretty much the lightest one of my foundations. Next foundation that I think is pretty special, and that is going to be the SISLEY Phyto-Teint Ultra ECLAT foundation. This is the reformulated version of their phyto-teint, and I have to say I am in love with this foundation. I had the other version way back when, you guys, and I did like it, but I was much younger when I was wearing it. And so this guy is oil free. Now, I do not tend to look for that in my foundations. Since I'm more mature, oil-free is not something that I tend to worry about, especially since I have dry skin. This foundation is pretty freaking amazing. First of all, this is going to be another one of these light, you can build it up to possibly a medium. This is going to give you more of a velvet, healthy complexion. It has skincare benefits. The con in this is that it does contain fragrance, and so I would want you to kind of test this out. And the shade range is expanded for SISLEY, but it is not a huge shade range. So this is a special foundation. I just think it works for many different skin types. I think the finish is absolutely gorgeous, healthy looking skin. Gives you a nice blurred effect. And again, I kind of want to say the word velvet with this. I'm actually was very surprised at how much I love this foundation, and I have been using this as well as one of my top foundations. GUERLAIN L'Essential Foundation. This is the Natural Glow Foundation with SPF 20. This is a beautiful glowy foundation, you guys. You're gonna again get that light to medium coverage, so you're not gonna get a huge amount of coverage in this one, but you are going to get this really nice glow going on. So this is in your glowy category. The great thing about this is there's tons of shade range in here. They have 30 different shades that you can pick from. They have cool undertones, neutral, and warm. So I find if you are looking for something like that, this one's gonna give you the most versatility as far as finding the right match. One thing I will say is, yes, this has skincare benefits in it, but it does contain fragrance. So if that is a no-go for you, I would probably say look for the Dewdrops. This one contains no fragrance. It's gonna give you kind of a very similar effect on your skin without the fragrance on this side, okay? So that's what I would say. The shade range, there is 20 different shades in the SURRATT versus 30 in the GUERLAIN. So again, it's going to be about finding that right shade, but this is a really beautiful foundation. This is the SISLEY Soft Beige, and this is the GUERLAIN L'Essential in 2-in-1. Guys, we are going to start moving into more of a higher coverage foundation. So one that I did fall in love with, and this is the Guerlain. This is the Pure Gold. And I have to say, this is kind of a interesting foundation for me because not only does it contain fragrance, but it also contains alcohol. But the finish on your skin is amazing. This one just tends to give my skin life, and maybe it just has to do with the shade that I have. I have it in 02, and there is something that I just love. Now this has more coverage, and so on those days when I'm looking for more coverage, I kind of think of this as special event foundation. This isn't going to be something that I wear every day, and again, because I have more rosacea-prone skin, it makes me a little bit worried about, you know, it has fragrance and alcohol, two things that are not going to be great for my skin type. Now, I think that everybody probably has one foundation that they love in their collection that may not be the best for their skin, but you love the finish of it. That is how I feel with this guy. It is just gorgeous. It is radiant. This one gives me a flawless complexion. There is something sort of special about it. I just wish it didn't have alcohol. I wish it didn't have fragrance, but this is going to be one of these that I pull out when I really want to have that perfected look in my skin and need a little bit more coverage. I really enjoy this. This is the Pure Gold. Now, speaking of foundations that have alcohol in them, I did buy the Pat McGrath foundation. Ended up returning it, but it wasn't because I didn't think that it was a lovely foundation. It had more of a skin-like, I would say light to medium coverage. I do have a designated video on that, so I will put that below. The reason that I returned it was for two things. I do not have Pat McGrath where I can go swatch it here locally. I have to buy them and then have to return them, and it gets kind of crazy having to buy so many different foundations to find the perfect match. So thinking if you can find the right match, but the one thing is that foundation looked gorgeous on the skin. The longevity was beautiful, but it made my skin feel by the end of the day. One thing is, and even with the Pure Gold, this one looks fantastic, but by the end of the day, because this is a fuller coverage foundation, I can feel a little bit of heaviness by the end of the day. With the Pat McGrath, I had that same feeling. I love the way that it appeared and looked on my skin, but by the end of the day, I was just like, I just want to go wash my face. When I have a foundation like that, it isn't worth it to me to keep. One other foundation that I fell in love with, but I don't feel like it's getting the hype that it deserves, is the new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. This comes in the squeezy tube, and you guys, I ordered a different color, so I do not have my actual tube, but I really love this foundation. The Fenty Beauty is described as a medium to full coverage foundation. It's very hydrating, and I find that it just perfects the skin. The shade range in the Fenty is amazing, and again, what I like about it is my skin feels very comfortable, but it feels like I'm getting a little bit more coverage on those days when I need it. This is a super hydrating long wear foundation that is going to be best for your normal to dry skin. So my oily friends, you're not probably gonna like that Fenty new one, but what I have heard is for people with combination skin, they have been mixing one of the Pro Filter Matte with a squirt of the Pro Filter Hydrating, and it makes the perfect little combination for them. So that would be one thing. If you already own that Fenty Pro Filter Matte and you want to give this a try, definitely think about mixing it. I just have really been enjoying that foundation. My daughter really likes it as well. It's kind of reminding me of the IT Cosmetics CC cream, but not quite as thick. A little smidge less coverage. And also it just feels lighter on the skin. That's the one thing I will say is it just goes on beautifully. It's gonna wear throughout the day. You will feel, it is very hydrating, and you will feel a little, I felt like it wore almost a tad bit, not greasy, but a little bit by the end of the day, where I felt like I would need to touch up with powder, and I usually don't do that. So that one needs to get a shout out because I think it is a gorgeous foundation. The price point is $35. So again, that's a really nice one to have in your collection. That is the roundup of all of these foundations. I'm going to go through the swatches real quick with you just to show you all the different kind of varieties that work on my kind of light to medium skin tone with cool neutral undertones. Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer in 2C1. Laura Mercier, and this is the Natural Radiance Tinted Moisturizer. Dew Drops, SURRATT Dew Drops in 3. This is SURRATT Surreal Skin Wand in 6. This is the SISLEY Phyto-Teint Ultra ECLAT, and that is in soft beige. Here is the GUERLAIN, and this is the L'Essential, and this is in 2in. This is the PERFECTOR in 02. This is the FENTY in shade 220. And then someone had asked if I would swatch my Vita Lumiere in beige, in 32, beige rosé. That is that shade, and that's freshly applied. Okay, you guys, this is a lot of different foundations, and I think what I would tell you, if you're wanting me to pick my absolute favorites, I really like all of them for different reasons, and I'm gonna have it sometimes, like if it's just weekend, I'm gonna just wanna slap on my tinted moisturizer. If I need just that nice long wear velvet kind of satin finish, I'm gonna be reaching for my SISLEY. Between the two of these, the GUERLAIN Essential and the SURRATT Dew Drops, I'm really enjoying the Dew Drops, and that's probably because it is fragrance free. This one doesn't contain any fragrance. It doesn't contain SPF that I know of per se. And I'm just finding this to be really comfortable on the skin, whereas I did feel like a little bit worried this has made me a teeny bit itchy, and that's where I would kind of between these two. This one is a little bit glowier, where this is kind of dewy, healthy, hydrating, but not necessarily that total glow. So if you are like camp glow, you're definitely gonna wanna go with this one. One last one that we need to mention is the new Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Foundation. That one was a no-go for me. Unfortunately, there was something in it that my skin kind of had a reaction to. I also felt like it really emphasized my pores, which is not something I generally worry about. And I have heard so many great things about that foundation, people actually loving it. For myself, it was just a no-go, and I was a little bit bummed about it because I am a Charlotte Tilbury fan. You guys, if I had to pick one foundation, period, that's going to be the most universal for most people, it is going to be the SISLEY Phyto-Teint Ultra ECLAT. This is going to work for a bunch of skin types. The problem with this is going to be the limited shade range. I also have to mention two little honorable mentions that I still love, because someone asked me the other day, do you still like the Chanel La Beige Eau de Teint and the Tom Ford Flawless Glow Foundation? I do, you guys. These are two of my absolute favorites. This is still in my rotation. We just have some new goodies coming in, but this is going to be your glowy, and I would put this more towards your healthy looking skin. So this is going to be that light sheer coverage. This is going to give you more coverage. So if I'm going to be comparing any of these, you guys, I would probably say, I would probably put the Eau de Teint along with this Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, both very hydrating, and I feel like they both make your skin look really super healthy. And then as far as similarities to the Tom Ford, the Glow, I'm gonna pull out these three. This would be, I mean, these two. This would be very similar to your Tom Ford. Again, it's going to be about shade range, and then I would find that the SURRATT is going to slot in there, maybe slightly less coverage than your Tom Ford. But again, all of these are going to give you dewy, glowy complexion that I think that a lot of us want nowadays. Okay, you guys, we got through all the foundations. I'm hoping that this was helpful. And again, I'm going to link all of my designated videos that is going to give you a little bit more information and you can see it in action below. So thank you for watching, and Penny, thank you for collaborating with me. I absolutely adore you and love you, and I can't wait to see your video on all of these foundations. You guys, I will be out of town for the rest of the week, but I will be back next week with some fun new content. And thank you as always for your support. You're amazing, and I will talk to you guys soon.